Tim, since you were there at the beginning, you
Yeah.
guys partnered up. How, like looking back, what are some things that maybe you would have, looking back now, what are some things you could have done differently or improved on in those early days? And I'm just thinking about all these property managers that are listening here. Uh, like, what are some things, like looking back, what could you do better?
Yeah, I mean, I think if your goals are to grow, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is growth mindset and hiring the right people and not being so desperate to hire someone that you make a mistake on who you hire, right? I think we all, Kraus that was putting out a fire today, right? We're all so wrapped up in the day-to-day operations of things, putting out fires, running to the client's house to sit for the utility company for, as Duke was saying, all these different things, running checks, all that stuff. And then we forget the most important thing, which is the people you're bringing into your organization. So I think a couple of times very early on, we were so desperate to hire somebody super duper quickly that we made some wrong hires, and it sets you back so far. It sets you back months, years sometimes. And not to say that we're perfect at it now, because we're absolutely not. But I think we're a little bit fast. We're slower to hire, faster to fire, which I think is something we always talked about as a group in our masterminds as well. So I think for me, just the foundation of the business, making sure that it's strong, and that comes back to the people, is the first thing that comes to mind. Um, yeah, and then I think spending a lot more time vetting vendors when we were really young, and making sure that we had control over the maintenance process, because that's the thing that you can spend so much time on, spin your wheels on, and then everybody comes out unhappy. The tenant, the
Hmm.
vendor, the landlord. Those are the two things that really come to mind that early on we could have done a lot better, is vetting vendors and controlling the maintenance process, and then the people.
Good stuff. Vince, what do you think are kind of unique challenges to a property management company as they want to scale? You've been a part of scaling property management companies. What are some of the unique challenges that they face? Anyone out there that really wants to grow and see some success that way.
Yeah, and I don't think it's unique to even just property management. I think just in general, there's a lot of noise and distraction. I mean, I'm dealing with it right now, trying to scale our company. Uh, Sometimes with a lot of new innovative technology and new processes that are coming out, you forget some of the basics. I keep trying to focus back to keep it as simple as you can. And I think maybe it was Kraus, you just touched on customer service. At the end of the day, you really have to focus on your customer. And with scale, it is really easy to get distracted. And glass balls versus rubber balls is what I keep telling my team right now. Is we have a lot of balls in the air. Which one's rubber? Which one's glass? Like, what can't we drop? And we can't drop customer service. And I think a lot of times I'm guilty of it often. I juggle the rubber balls that aren't super critical sometimes, and it's easy to drop the glass ball there. So I'd say noise, focusing on keeping it simple, and as simple as it can be. It's easy to say that, but um, also with the macroeconomic climate, this ties into noise. I think you can latch on to things you can't control. So focus on what you could control. So we can control how good we show up. We can control how we're servicing our clients. We can't control what interest rates are going to do tomorrow. We can't control I think there was a lot of worry in the PM space when consolidation was happening. And I'd hear it all the time, like, oh my gosh, these big players are going to take over the industry. And there was panic. And I think you saw some folks sell during that time, when in reality it was just kind of noise. I mean, there's room for all of us in the space, and there's people that lost sight of what they really should be focused on, which is just running a good business that provides great customer service.